Hey, what up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you. Biggest story of yesterday, honestly, was a really big shock to me. I think it was a really big shock to everybody else out there. Bully Ray having his contract end. Basically, this doesn't seem like it's one of those stories in the past where Robert Roode's contract expired the day of a pay-per-view, and basically he didn't go to the access session of that day and sat and waited until TNA delivered him a new contract in order for him to work the pay-per-view. This is just sort of like, it almost seems to me like whoever's in charge of looking over those contracts. I know that Bruce Pritchard is a guy that took the fall on a few of these contracts slipping a little bit ago. But I don't know, like, it's just weird to me how a guy that you have told your fans at Slammiversary was going to be going into the Bound for Glory TNA Hall of Fame with Devon as a member of Team 3D. Not only that, your main babyface of your company, the guy that you just gave basically the biggest push of his career, making him the main face of your company, putting the owner of your company through a table, on one of your biggest shows in New York. It's just funny how you would just let that slip through your hands and just let him go. And, Bully Ray was one of the locker room leaders in TNA. It was him and Samoa Joe, I think, were the two most vocal people, sort of pulling people together. Bully Ray was a member of the creative team. He basically had the run of the mill there and was able to do whatever he wanted. And, he helped that company out a lot. If you think about, what Team 3D meant to TNA when they first came over, they had to deal with the debacle of WWE saying that they didn't own the Dudley Boys name, and they got over that by just calling themselves Team 3D, naming themselves after the finisher. They won the tag titles 1,000 times. Bully Ray and Devon tried to split up basically a few times, and it didn't work. Finally, the last time stuck. Bully Ray went on to be, one of the reasons to watch TNA in 2011. I thought basically when he first started going babyface and he was really getting himself into shape, and they were really letting him get on the mic and just say whatever he needed to in order to get that Bully Ray character over. I thought that he was the one reason that was supposed to be there. The story from here is easily going to turn into, what is Bully Ray going to do now? Is it an option that WWE will call him and say, hey, come on over? Some people think that that's a long shot. I think that Bully Ray is in the best shape of his career right now. I know that, when Bully Ray was at his heights in WWE, the Dudleys were a babyface tag team. They also were a heel a few times, but I think the most time people were talking about them, the most time people were feeling them, is when they were a babyface team. And Bully Ray as a babyface really honestly doesn't really fit in with WWE. But even if you have to call Devon up and say, hey, Devon, do you want to go on one more run? I think the Dudleys definitely deserve to retire in WWE. It's not like that's their home. I think everybody's going to think of the Dudleys as being a WWE tag team. It was hard for me to wrap my head around Bully Ray being in TNA for 9 years. It seems like he just left and went over there just the other day. It just makes me realize how old that one night stand ECW pay-per-view is from back in the day, and how long it's been since ECW is even in business. It just sort of puts me in perspective on how old I am and how long I've been watching wrestling. But Bully's in WWE. Bully could, I don't want to say star. I mean, he could definitely be somebody that means something for a short period of time. I don't really see him as a U.S. champion. I don't really see him as an Intercontinental champion. I don't even really see anything as a dream feud for him or the Dudleys to come in. If the Dudleys did come in, they'd definitely help out that tag team division. Tag team division couldn't even get a match at SummerSlam. You got Usos with the championships. You got Ryback as a team that definitely is dying for a need to break up. They've just been together way too long. I understand why you put them together. But Ryback is a guy, if you turn him babyface, could easily be one of the biggest stars out there, and definitely be a guy that if you were building this guy for the last few months as a babyface, could be a guy that you can put in the ring against Brock Lesnar at a pay-per-view and have it be believable. There's Stardust and Goldust, who I think everybody's just waiting to bust up. But, that tag division needs some help. And Team 3D could do it. One way or another, Bully Ray needs to find himself in a WWE.